Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 9 of RollPlay Nebula Jazz. I am joined, as always, by my favorite space cadets. How's everybody doing?
So good.
Are we all jamming to the imaginary Spice Girls music?
We're all
I'll tell you what
listening
I
to
want.
Space
What I
Girls
really want.
in our head. So tell me what you want. What you really want.
I'll tell you what I want. What I really want.
So tell me what you want. What you really want.
I wanna really wanna ziggy.
Ah.
Well, there we go.
If you want my future, I know. You know what?
And that's how that goes.
Apparently, I knew that whole song except for the lyrics to the chorus. Who knew?
Jesse,
Who knew I was wrong? I was wrong. Sam put me on the right path.
Jesse, if you had to be any of the Spice Girls, which Spice Girl would you be?
Oh, please, Posh Spice. Duh.
Really? She's the worst one. Why would you?
I know she's the worst one.
I love David Beckham that much.
I really want that Beckham
Dude,
D is what I'm saying.
There was all kinds of drama between her and Scary Spice because she like started capitalizing on Spice Girls songs again, and Scary Spice was like, "How dare you? You didn't even want to do our like come back together thing. You were the only one who was like, no, fuck the Spice Girls, and now you're trying to make money off the Spice Girls again. How
Let
dare
me be
you?"
clear. Let me be clear. Old Posh Spice, new Posh Spice.
Sure.
She looks very like
Old
borderline ill, like some sort of crypt keeper, and I'm not okay with that. Eat a burger is what I'm saying. Eat a hamburger, lady.
You might keep a crypt. I'm just
saying. Yeah, I'm not saying she's an undead beast come back to suck our souls. She's just a very, she's bad.
David Beckham is her Horcrux, and that's how that works.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
That's why she has to stay near him all the time.
Exactly. You have to protect him from Harry
She's
Potter.
like, I can't go on tour, you guys.
Harry Potter.
I forgot that Baby Spice was a thing. She was always like crazy. I could be baby.
Here's the intro for the show. We go around. You say what Spice Girl you'd be.
Yeah. Do you want to go next?
Jesse. I would be Scary Spice all day.
Yeah.
You're definitely Scary Spice.
Good choice.
Oh yeah.
Pokket, what's your Spice Girl of choice?
Man. It's a toss-up between Sporty because she could actually sing and Baby Spice because I just as a kid I was like, I want to be her. She's so cute.
Sporty and Baby.
There you
Interesting choices.
A sporty baby.
Yeah.
Man, this worked out perfectly because I always wanted to be Ginger Spice.
Right. The respectable one. Isn't she like an ambassador or something, or wasn't she for a while?
I don't know. All I know is that she was secretly like the most incredible chain smoker ever while they were the Spice
Really?
Girls. She like her first huge purchase with her millions of dollars was like a golden cigarette holder or something crazy. And I was like, what?
I like it.
Wow, that's fantastic.
But
she was
I
a Goodwill ambassador to the United Nations Population Fund. There you go. Good job, Jerry.
fuck yeah, Ginger
Way to
Spice. Killing it.
Isn't she the one that broke up the Spice Girls though? Like she left and wanted to do her own thing.
She was the first one that left, yeah. But there was lots of controversy there on whether or not she was kicked out.
For being ginger.
For being soulless.
Is my mic better now, by the way?
Yes,
You
it's
sound
actually
great.
Pointed at
Yes.
your mouth. Yeah, so that's helpful. Spice Girls divisiveness. I like that though, that everybody has a different. I think Scary Spice is probably the best one.
Thank you.
I don't know
Oh,
that
yeah.
I don't know that I personally identify with Scary Spice, but I think
If you had to be one.
yeah, she's my fave.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all super, super rich, so I would happily be any of them. Sign me up for the millions and millions of Spice dollars.
I don't know if any of you have recently watched the Spice World movie. Still
mean Dune?
amazing.
Yeah.
It holds up. It holds up.
I've seen it like 10 times. So
God, I loved that movie when I was younger. Holy shit. It's great.
Yeah, I think I saw it maybe once when it was out, but never since. What's the plot of that film? Remind me.
being
What
a
is
Spice Girl.
They're trying to save the world.
from what? Like Jared Leto?
Trying to save Spice World.
Yeah.
Is Spice World a place, or is it a metaphor for like a way of thinking?
I mean,
Yes.
Or are we
Spice
talking
World
about, or are we talking about the desert planet Arrakis? Which
Yes.
I'm very confused
that
about
one.
the spice business.
I-
It was a really strange combination of Spice Girls and Dune.
Yeah.
You know, somehow
exactly.
it just worked. It worked really well.
you know how they're on a bus, on a big red British bus? I now want to see them riding a giant sandworm.
Right.
All like, turn your money down and what?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Slam your body, as I've
Slam
learned.
your body down.
Slam your
Yeah.
body.
The Benny Gesserit sisterhood was big on slamming your body down and winding
Yeah.
it all around.
It's
The
true.
Spice
It's
movies.
the only way you could live in the apocalyptic society.
The Spice movies literally like they're performing at like the Great Albert Hall in like 4 days, and they have to like fucking get there. That's like the movie.
Right.
It's like
They're
give me
not
the-
saving the world. God,
No,
with their music.
they've just got a really cool London bus with a Union Jack on it, and they just try and get to their concert. That's basically the movie.
Yeah, that's the movie. And there's man
Great
butts
movie.
in it.
Great movie.
My mom got really offended that there were man butts, and I was a little kid watching it.
There are man butts.
Yeah,
Man
they-
butts.
doing one. It was,
Boy butts.
they had pants
Man
on, but the butts were cut out, and they turned around and started jiggling their tushes at the camera.
Great, perfect.
You know what? I'm gonna zip it. I'm just gonna zip it. I have a real question. I have a real question about man butts and women, and I
Okay,
need
cool.
answers.
You have to ask.
Oh, yes,
I
I
was-
ask it now.
I was really
Yeah.
hoping you were gonna
I want
have a
this to-
question about chaps, just in general.
I want, I want this to feel like a space where you're safe to ask these kinds of questions without
I
judgment.
just think in movies,
Yeah.
the consolation prize for women is like, well, you know, dudes can have boobies and stuff. Women enjoy butts, and I've always thought to myself, what a weird thing
Trade-off.
to be like. Yeah, you get butts, and I've always wondered, are butts the thing that does it for you? Because I don't. It's just like it's like a poop hole. Like, I
They
don't.
don't
well,
Hey,
well,
but
that's-
hang on. They get butts and biceps. If
That's not
Fast
nearly.
and
The,
Furious
no,
say anything
it's not the same.
it's not even remotely.
I would put muscly arms on the same sexually arousing tier as like a woman's like wearing a short dress, like legs, right? Like it's a
Right.
similar.
I
Like
disagree.
there can be
I-
some sexiness there.
I think Dodger disagrees with you, but that's
I
fine.
disagree. I think
do like
arms
arms.
really up there.
Yeah, I think you find Adam that ladies rate arms quite highly.
But
Yeah.
is it as erotic for you as like?
yeah, but that doesn't.
yeah, that's the thing. Is it's like it's not like a thing that you don't get to see all the time.
Yeah, you can just walk down the street
Right.
and there's just like arms all over the place. There's no gym for boobs, right?
God, there should be.
There's
Boob
there's
Hold
surgeons.
on, guys.
for boobs.
I gotta go to the boob gym. I've really been slacking.
Since the 80s, that's always been the thing. Like Jean-Claude Van Damme ass, everyone like, and it's like, oh, look at his ass. But yeah, but look at his ass though. Like it's just that dude's ass.
But like,
Right.
But
look,
here's the
Jesse,
thing,
like literally the next tier is a dingle dangle, and a
That's
lot of
right,
people
right,
feel
yeah.
weird about that.
Here's the thing. I feel weird about it. I'm not sure. I like looking at it. I'm like, even on the scale of sexiness, I don't think it's like anywhere near like women bits. I'm just saying, dingle dangles. They're
Dingle
weird looking.
dangles.
They're weird looking.
They're not.
They're
I feel like all human bodies are disgusting, so it's just varying shades.
I
of
am repulsed by
Gross.
humanity.
Yeah, right. We're just-
It's essentially,
You know the films I enjoy? No humans in them. You know that Disney movie Cars? My favorite film.
yeah, but how do they reproduce, Sam? Think about it. How do they reproduce?
the
Yeah, you
internet
just
knows.
tailpipes.
Only Walt Disney knows
That's
that.
a bad analogy. Nope.
We were just talking about butts, so it fits.
Yeah, you just give birth through your tailpipe, right? You just
Look.
pop out a baby car.
No, that's how they have sex, and then they it pops out the trunk.
I'm just saying, a butt can be fined and toned, and like, ooh, that's a nice butt. But on the scale of like sexy doing it stuff, it's just a butt.
Whoa, boobs can be fined and toned. What are you talking about?
You got to go to that boob gym.
You gotta go to the poop gym.
Oh, whoa. You do chest exercises, they firm the fuck up. They go up, you know.
It's a question, I think, about societal secretness, right? Like man ass isn't really on the same tier as a boob.
That's what I'm
because-
getting at. Thank
Only
you.
because we are socialized to see boobs as like a magical secret thing that you're not supposed to look at. But like you see like a dude ass and you're like, well,
Well, we don't have anything on
nothing
TV with the
magical.
boob. That's not our
Exactly.
fault. That's
yeah,
not our fault.
male secondary sex characteristics are just like
No,
all out there.
No,
Just
no,
flapping
no.
around out there.
It's the V. The guys have the V right
Yeah,
here where they're really in
it's-
shape.
But it's
It's
not.
called
But
an-
it's
it's
not.
called an
it's not- you're
Adonis
not, you're not
belt.
encouraged to
Right.
hide. You're not encouraged to hide that, right?
Also, that's
That's-
genetic, so that's like
Well,
a.
I definitely thought Pocket was talking about vaginas.
No, she's talking about.
V,
she's talking
and I was
about
like, they
Adonis.
don't,
What about
Pocket.
the Adonis
They
guys?
don't have those.
Really fit guys have vaginas.
Yeah, those vaginas, right? The really toned vaginas right here.
Right here.
They've got such good vaginas.
Oh boy, this intro though, like really getting into it. I like it. It's a good thing that in the game Earth has been destroyed, so that all those disgusting humans.
I know, God.
You
Ugh.
don't
I
have
got
to-
rid of them. Thank God.
You know who has a has a V and Adonis belt? Rex.
Rex does. Yeah, I think that's canon.
That's why all the space ladies want him.
Yeah.
So
It's
Yeah.
not because of his shark mouth.
Yeah.
Let's be
definitely
real.
Yeah, I would stay away from that altogether. You don't want to put any part of your body near that. That's a bad time, unless you're Thuja, in which case, more power to you, lady.
You know, yeah, Thuja's just gonna be Thuja, and that's fine.
He's terrifying.
Let Thuja be Thuja.
Well, cool. I feel like I don't need to know any more about any of you. I feel like I'm caught up.
I
It's-
agree.
I still have questions.
I know.
I
It's,
have
you know
no
what?
answers.
It's
This is
okay.
Not
Jeff.
helpful.
It's okay. I think it's because there are no answers, really.
He's right. There is no answer to it.
Yeah, everybody has their own shit they find sexy, and some people like that man ass, that Jean-Claude Van Butt, and it's cool. They're
The
allowed.
Jean-Claude Van Butt.
And some
yeah.
people like feet, and that's cool too.
Yeah, everybody likes what they like, and that's okay. It's just that movies don't
I
want
like
you to look
eyeballs.
at boobs. That's it.
Can I tell you something? I was thinking the exact same thing. Holy shit.
like
Eyeballs. gross.
Eyeballs.
Eyeballs are
What about
gross.
eyeballs?
I like hair, like real good hair.
Yeah, I like that too. That's my second favorite.
I had a friend who was obsessed with noses, and I thought it was awesome. She'd be like, "Oh my God, did you see that guy's nose? That has a nice nose." I was like, "This is amazing. I love it. I love it." You just see the world through somebody else's, fetish eyes. It's great.
Fetishize. That's cute. Good work. Nice pun.
Hey, joke.
Let's play a role-playing game. shall we?
Oh, we
Thought
wait, we weren't already?
Yeah, right. Let's play a different role-playing game. Everybody write an aspect for the thing your character thinks is hot. And no, don't do that. Or you could, I guess, if you wanted to. Yeah. So sad moments for our dear friend Quinn, who has recently rediscovered a lost companion. I don't think we named him, did we? He didn't have a name before. Your former guardian brother, you thought you were the last of the guardians, but you're not. And there's this horrible mutant who was tortured over several decades by the Empress and made into her evil servant, hopefully to kill you, but then it didn't go so well.
I hugged him. I hugged him back
Yeah,
to.
you
You hugged him
it out.
back.
Yeah.
I gave him a little
Um,
pat on the tush and was like, "You're my friend now."
So yes. All right. So I got a name for him. Your cousin, your Creesh mate, your little friend. His name is Crocp. Crocp the Unswerving, most loyal of the Guardians.
Aw.
Yeah, because he died still loyal to you despite what the new Empress had said about him. He's got a whole tragic backstory about being Clockwork Oranged about you, but you hugged it out, so it's okay. So he's in a state of incapacitation now. We fade in on the scene in the Empress's desolate throne chamber, right? The 11 empty seats, the funerary cloaks draped over them, the massive Empress Zbothtar in her throne, and you kind of scattered out before her, and her beast Crocp lying on the ground without his jar, a broken lizard man, but no longer attempting to tear you limb from limb. Aurora, the Empress, I guess the question is like, does everybody flee? Like Quinn, you and Rex are out in the open. Aurora, you could try to run, or you could this could become a conversation. I think the fight is kind of over. And Quinn has the upper hand. So what do you do, Aurora? I guess I want to know where you end up.
I'm gonna wait for them. I'm gonna stay with Rex, and I'd say I come up behind Rex afterwards, since I see that Quinn he doesn't need any more assistance. Not that I was assisting, but I was trying. So, yeah.
Yeah. So the Empress's Vipers, her assassination ladies, they're still present, right? You didn't get rid of any of them, and they are eyeing Aurora very carefully, right? They're aware of everything that's going on. Their main goal is to protect the Empress, but they're keeping an eye on Aurora because you exhibited some kind of mysterious sorcery that Empress Zbothtar is particularly interested in. Speaking of which, let's talk about ancient serpentine sorcery. Quinn, what you have witnessed here with the Empress and her like smog serpents, that is sorcery most foul. It is an ancient art, long forgotten to the lizard people, considered to be, I think, generally kind of evil. It was not a thing that, every once in a while, one of the counselors would be like, yes, we should bring it back. Bring back that sorcery, that old sorcery jam. And all the other counselors would, no, it's too dangerous. We can't do it. And it seems that Empress Apothar has embraced the dark lineage of your people and has this magic at her disposal. And so maybe when we look up at her, we can see, yeah, she has these sort of wisps of green smoke kind of dancing around her. And she, despite having kind of like, witness you destroy her servant with hugs, she seems assured that she's still the one in control. So I guess, Quinn, what do you do?
Is the situation with my new friend Crocp like handled? What is he doing?
I think he's not unconscious, but he's sort of incapacitated. You've knocked him out with hugs.
Okay.
You could drag him to his feet and he could walk, but he's not going to be able to talk or think or fight for the rest of the scene. He's out.
She is still on her weird pedestal thing.
Yeah. So you've just finished. You've broken the embrace with Crocp, and you can feel the tension.
Oh well, then there's only one thing to do.
Yeah.
Quinn runs full speed at the pillar she's on in an attempt to knock it over, knock it down, bring her down to our level.
Okay. All right. I'll have her oppose you on that with her magic. But you can certainly have a go at it.
I will certainly try.
Okay. So you're both overcoming basically. So you're gonna roll, and it's whoever gets the highest roll will get what they want.
Okay.
So let me look at Bosch. What are you? And I guess you're being forceful or flashy.
Oh, forceful. I'm just gonna try and push this pillar down. I don't necessarily. I'm not like trying to hurt her. I'm just trying to get her down on our level.
Okay. All right.
So my dude with the jaws can bite on her a little bit. Give her a little nibble.
Okay. So go ahead and roll, and then we'll see. She's gonna oppose you with flashy. She's gonna use the sorcery to
Flashy,
stop
like ooh, you missed me.
Yeah. Well, you'll see. So she she holds her hands out as you rush forward, and these serpents of fog and shadow spill forth from her jeweled fingers and try to wrap themselves around you to hold you in place before you reach her pedestal. You can use your fate points if you'd like to bump that up, or you'd like to re-roll. I'm beating you by 2, and I have more fate points than you do.
You definitely do. No, I'll sit here and get tangled up in serpents.
Okay. No, it doesn't mean that she has you like in her grasp, or like you're not at any disadvantage, but she repels you.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
So she calls up this ancient serpentine magic, and the constrictors of fog wrap around you and hold you back, and then you shake them off and they sort of dissipate. And she grins at you, and you can see her fangs over her snaky lips. And and she looks at you and shakes her head. And she says, pitiful man, can you not see that force will not overcome me? Is that the only tool you have, Quinn? You disappoint me.
And Quinn just tries to swing wildly at these weird shadow things that are surrounding him, and looks up at her, and he's like, "This isn't over yet."
And she says, "I couldn't agree more." And she turns and looks at Aurora as you come into the moonlight or whatever that comes from above, and she looks at you, her green eyes sparkling, and she says, "Come here, little girl." And you can feel like the shadow kind of like coalescing around your feet, and you're like being pushed forward by her magic.
I grab Rex. I grab onto his coat immediately.
Yeah, I grab her.
Okay, what do you say, Rex? When do you like step in front of her or?
Yeah, I think she starts to move forward, and Rex just like throws an arm out across the front of Aurora and looks at the Empress, and he's like, "She ain't going anywhere."
She kind of like wrinkles her nose at you and she sort of whispers, just like, "Impetuous shark, you dare defy the Empress?"
You just see a big toothy grin. He doesn't respond.
She shakes her head and she says, "Do not be so overconfident. I am more than you can handle, Rex." And and she says to you, Quinn. She turns her attention back to Quinn, and she says, "It does not have to be this way, Quinn. Give me the girl. Leave with your life. Return to whatever it is you were doing after your disgrace."
I sort of like get up into Rex's ear and I'm like, is this where we run?
Rex kind of looks back at Quinn and like motions to the big guy on the ground. He's like, "Quinn, we gotta regroup. We gotta go."
Quinn turns to the others and shouts, "Get Crocp out of here. This is why I've come and I refuse to leave."
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Rex will try and help this giant lizard onto his feet.
Okay. So even though you've broken most of his conditioning, Crocp looks like wistfully up at the Empress, and like he'll go along. He's a broken man. He'll do whatever anyone's telling him, but he looks wistfully up at the Empress, and he sheds a single crocodile tear and says, "Empress, I have failed you." And she just like waves her hand, like, "Take him away." And Rex, she'll let you go. But she's still interested in Aurora. So you're in this sort of pool of light, and she's at one end. There are exits all around this kind of arena thing. You can get out in basically any direction. But her vipers are kind of like scattered in the darkness around you, with their like shock spears, kind of watching. So if you want to take Aurora out of here, you have to convince her that Aurora is not worth keeping.
Do I have to do that?
She'll let you and Quinn and Crocp go, but she's like, let me have that one. I want to.
Do I have to convince anyone, or do I just rip them in half?
I mean, you could try to fight all of them if you want to, but fighting the Empress and her elite assassins on their home turf it's a big fight.
I mean,
Can I sneak out?
Quinn is pretty much between the Empress and us at this point. So I'm pretty. Rex is really. He's just like, well, maybe some guards trying to stop us. Who gives a fuck? So he's gonna just like take Aurora by the hand and try and lead her out with him.
Yeah, I mean, you're met by the black scaled like vipers. They kind of like slither up in front of you and like block your way with their spears.
Cool. I just like devour the middle one.
Okay.
You're already gonna use it now? You're gonna use your ability right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you do that, this will turn into another battle. If you're ready for that, you can certainly do that.
Are you ready?
They're not gonna shit themselves.
They're not scared of you. You're in their house.
Oh.
All right, I won't do that.
So what's the situation right now? So
Yeah.
Quinn is kind of on his own, like
Quinn
was
is
looking at this.
Quinn
on
is
his
front
own.
and center. Yeah.
Right. Rex is with Sad Bro
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
had back to
like-
life.
Yeah, Crocp has his huge, beefy, like Bane arm over Rex's shoulder, and Rex is like helping him leave.
Okay. And Aurora is kind of by herself being approached by lackeys.
I'm
Yes.
next to
Well,
Rex.
Aurora is like trying to stay with Rex, but she also has these little like tendril snakes of fog, kind of like grabbing at her clothes, and like trying to hold her in place. Not aggressively, but like trying to slow her down. And they're just it's just the reaction of the Empress's interest in her. The
Right.
magic of the place is responding to her desires.
Rex
Okay.
directs the giant lizard to just like lean on the wall and use that to support himself, and he puts himself like between the assassins and Aurora, and
Sure.
just kind of like spits
Yeah, the whole situation is quite tense.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere without her. So
Yeah. All right, Quinn.
Yeah. Quinn looks up at the Empress and he's like, "It's me that you want. Let the girl go."
She looks down at you and she says, "An interesting proposition. I'm listening. Once I have you, Quinn, then what? What use do I have for a disgraced exile?"
Quinn points to Crocp and he's like, "You had a use for him. I'm sure there'll be a use for me as well."
Interesting. Yeah, I think she grins and she says, "Yes, loyalty was always your problem. Perhaps you can be re-educated." And she puts a hand up and gestures to her assassins, and she's like, "Take him." And they like slither up to you, and like you get a bunch of like kind of sexy lady viper hands on you, like grabbing you and like kind of pulling you away. And you have a minute.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I know.
The worst.
Sexy lady snakes.
Oh no.
And so they start to drag you away. And what you have a moment to like say something to Rex as you're being like pulled away. What do you say to him?
Rex looks at Quinn looks at Rex and Aurora and says, "Keep her safe. She's more important than you realize." And then he gets dragged off.
Okay.
you hear Rex like yell after you, like, "Don't die on me, big guy."
As he's like pulled away, I look up at Rex. I'm like, "What's he talking about?"
Fuck, I don't fucking know. Let's get out of here.
Right.
So you the serpent,
Last words wasted.
the serpents, the vipers, they part to let you out into the city proper. And as you go by, Rex, one of them like hisses lasciviously at you. Maybe you get a swat on the butt as you go by.
I like bite inches from their face.
Right. Yeah, she just hisses back at you.
I just stick my tongue out as I walk past.
And the two of you get like kind of escorted out of the council chamber and into the street, and you see standing nearby, he's got a big like hood up, and he's kind of trying to stand in the shadows. You see an old lizard man with a long pipe watching as you emerge from the Coliseum.
Yay!
Is the giant lizard dude still with us?
Yeah, Crocp. Yeah. And Crocp, when you look to him, we cut to him and he like, staggers out, and this dude is like, he's huge, like Rob Liefeld huge, like saber tooth, muscles so big he can't put his arms down.
He has to duck out of the doorway.
Yeah, no neck, huge, walking around on his knuckles, huge.
I was
like,
just gonna say, like, he does like this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's horribly overgrown, like one of those nasty dogs they like, inject steroids into. And he just staggers out, and he seems to be going through some kind of like wild emotional fluctuation. So like 1 minute he'll be sobbing and like falling down on the ground, and then he'll start laughing, and then like he's just like fluctuating wildly emotionally. And so when we pan over to him, he's just got one hand on the wall, and you can see the deep claw, like furrows of his claws in the wall, and he's just like sobbing into his hand. It's like, Quinn. There's like tears pouring down his face.
Can I like look around and like find like this discarded like broken jar and bring it to him?
Just like a broken one on the ground.
Well, like it's the only one I can find, and I'm like holding it together, and I bring it and I hold it up to Crocp while as he's like sobbing, and I just like an offering, kind of like I've seen like all the fucking lizard people do here, and I don't. But I'm like, here you go.
Yeah, and so he like sniffles and like takes his hand away. His eyes are all red and bloodshot. He looks down, and there's a moment where you can see his like lip curl a little bit, and then he's suddenly overwhelmed. Like even though like your gesture is useless, he's overwhelmed with the kindness of it. And he falls to his knees and like throws his big beefy arms around you, and just starts like crying into your shoulder. And like this dude is huge. He's like kind of leaning on you, like you're slowly sliding to the ground.
Yeah. I'm patting him the whole time, like, it's okay. It's okay. I promise.
And then you hear the tapping of a stick on the ground as the old lizard man approaches.
Slarp?
It sure is.
Is it Slarp?
It sure is Slarp. And he doesn't look up at you, Rex, because he can't see you, but he says in your direction, he's like, best be getting a move on now. Only way is forward. And he like reaches out towards you, Rex, like take your hand or something, like he's reaching for you.
Yeah, Rex puts a hand on his shoulder so he knows where he is. And then he like throws his head back at this weird scene happening behind him. And he says, come on, we're going. You too, big guy. And he looks at the giant lizard.
Yeah, and Crocp looks up at you. He takes a deep breath and he's like, yes, my new friends. I'm so glad to be with you. And he like slaps Aurora on the back and Aurora, you just like get knocked down on your knees.
I go flying and I trip over Sparky.
Yeah. And he's like, what a beautiful day to be alive. And he like stumbles forward on his big knuckly hands and follows after you. Slarp looks up at you, kind of in your direction, Rex, and he says, might be that old Slarp knows a place could be safe for a time. And I think that, you know, we follow you out into the city, and we wipe to a scene. We get a long pan over like a desert scene, right? So it's like the rocky hills, and there's a wind blowing. We can see, you know, maybe a little lizard runs by, and we can hear this awkward kind of like coughing, like this like noise in the background. And then as we pan across, we see a lizard man. It's Yahe or Tlochu, hard to tell which, with his hand on the wall, holding his stomach, and the other is like patting him on the back. He's like, it's okay. And the one who's buckled over proceeds to vomit on the ground. And we continue to pan over, and we see Eugene. And we see the shaman Imut. And Eugene, what disgusting thing are you doing? How are you practicing your disgustingness?
I'm literally just sitting there.
You're not even doing anything.
I'm not even doing. I'm pink and I have fake weird goo hair that I've created on myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there, and they're all just so sick. Just even being around me, and I'm just sitting there like, well, it's not like this isn't like the rest of my entire life. Just like, yep, I'm gross. Everybody, yep. Did you guys know I'm gross? Because in case you weren't aware.
Flochu, patting Yahe on the back, says, he says, okay, you think you're ready to try again? He's like, no, I can't look at him. He's just, oh God. And he like starts barfing on the ground. And he's like, okay, all right, whenever you're ready. You need some water? Like, I'm gonna get you some water. And he like runs off. And without looking at you, Tlochu or Yahe says, I'm sorry, Eugene, you're so gross. Oh, I mean, it's
That's
good.
cool. I get it. I'm not offended. I won't hold this deep in my heart for the rest of my life. Don't worry.
And we pan over, and Imut is like looking away from you. And he's like, you're doing very well, Eugene.
Thanks.
He kind of like trying to like hold back and try to be polite.
He's like dry heaving.
Yeah, dry heaving a little. He's barfing his mouth a little bit. And he's like, I think that'll be quite enough for today.
Are you sure? Because I can keep this up, you know, as exhausting as it is, if it's for the betterment of the reptile society.
Yeah, and he shakes his head.
Love.
He says, no, I think we've all had about as much as we can take.
What if I was a brighter pink? Would
No,
that
please,
help?
no,
What if, you know what? I think I figured out how to make myself hairier. Can we try that? Should we try that? Would that be better?
And he kind of like turns to like look past his hand at you, and he sees you. He's like, oh God. Like kind of goes off frame, and we just hear him barfing as well.
All right. But I mean, you know, I'm just trying to help. I'm just doing my best.
And then we hear what sounds like a bell ringing somewhere in the distance, and not like a big church bell, but like a dinner bell or like an alarm bell. And Imut like pops back up in a frame, and he's got like spit and like little bits of lizard barf on his face, and he's like, the alarm. And then him and a couple of the other like lizard, the Blixnort cultists scamper off. And suddenly the scene's emotional tenor has changed. Like there's tension, and everybody is kind of like startled all of a sudden. Eugene, what do you do?
I All right, so there's just an alarm, right? Is it obvious to me that it's an alarm? Is it a sound that I would identify as like, oh no?
I mean, it's a bell. Like I said, it's either dinner time or there's an intruder.
Right. Well, if I see everybody panicking, I'm gonna be like, why are we? Is this? Should I go? Is the thing happen? I'm gonna, I'll just. You guys take care of it. You got it? Okay, cool. I'm gonna just, and I start to like slowly get myself into a position where I know if somebody's attacking, I'm not gonna be around.
You just like press yourself up against.
I'm ready to ditch out at any minute.
All right. So I think that we cut over to the long stone staircase, and when we cut to this scene, we don't know how much time has passed, but it's evident that the group of you, Aurora, Rex, and Slarp, have spent some time crossing the desert. And we see you at the top of what I call them, the stairs of discovery. Having crossed the plains of self-doubt, you arrive at the gates of the Temple of Feelings.
Is
And
Crocp still with us?
yeah.
Can I
Crocp.
just be like on his back as he's like going through the desert, just riding him.
Yeah, it's like riding on his big beefy shoulder. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So yeah, he's like coming up the stairs, and and so you see these little sort of like skink warrior guys like climb up on top of the rocks and are like looking down at you as you approach. And Slarp waves his cane in the air, and he says, "No need for the alarm, just old Slarp and some new friends." And Emotak nods and like puts his hand up, and the alarm stops. And he says, "New friends, such strangers here at the Temple of Feelings." And he like scampers down the rock towards you, Rex. And this is like a little lizard man. And he's wearing a kind of like a shaman looking outfit of like bones and like feathers and colored stones and stuff. And he comes like running down, and he puts himself in front of you and like kind of tastes the air and looks up at you, Rex. And he says, "What strange companions old Slarp has. I am Imutak, keeper of the Temple of Feelings. How do you feel today, stranger?" And he like reaches out his little hand to like touch your face.
Rex has like got his goggles on and his like lower half face mask. He's not a big fan of sand either.
Till you got sand in your gills for days.
Yeah, so like his only response is like hot, and he just kind of stands there and lets him do his weird thing.
Yeah, and he like touches his chin. He's like, "Hot is not a feeling, stranger. How does the heat make you feel?"
Pissed off. Can we get in the shade?
He nods and he says, yes, anger, good. And he gestures behind him, and you can see these big pillars. And he says, "Anger is one of the 6 pillars of the Blixnord Libelacta. Gaze upon its might." And he gestures, and you can see this one pillar. It's just covered in like angry lizard men, like looking pissed off.
As he looks back, I just walk around him. And so when he turns back again, Rex is just not there anymore. He's just walked past.
And Imutak is like nodding and looking after you, and then he sees you, Aurora. He looks up, and then looks at Crocp, and when he sees Crocp, I think he like cocks his head and kind of blinks quizzically, and then looks at you, Aurora, because he knows Crocp's not going to be able to talk to him, because Crocp is like babbling to himself in whatever strange feeling he's experiencing right now. So he says to you, Aurora, like looking way up, and he's in the shadow of Crocp's beefy muscles. He says, "Welcome to the Temple of Feeling, stranger. How do you feel?" And he like takes a little thing of powder and throws it in the air and just kind of sparkles.
And I'm like leaning over Crocp, just staring down at this guy, like just like my eye like just blinking at first, and I see the glitter, and I lean as forward as I can while still towering above him on this giant, and I go, "Happy."
And
in return.
And he claps his hand and he says, good, a fortuitous day, for happiness is also one of the mighty pillars of the Blixnort." And he gestures, and again you see one of the big stone pillars just covered in like frolicking lizard men wearing like flower crowns and like dancing around a maypole and having just like a great time.
that's when Crocp kind of goes into a happiness as well. And I'm like, see, look, it's both of us. It's both. Oh, now it's not. Never mind. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Yeah, and then Crocp is like overcome with fear all of a sudden, and like looking around all paranoid. And he says, "What strange creature is this? He appears to be a guardian, but larger than any I've seen. Where did you find this beast? Was it in the desert? Is he a mutant?"
Oh, he's my best friend now. No, not in the desert. You know, giant snake lady. Yeah, the crazy one that wants to kill everything. Yeah, no, we found him there. It's okay. It's okay. He doesn't belong there anymore. He belongs with us. He's a little crazy though as well, and we just kind of, I just sort of talk to him when he gets a little scary. Right, big guy? Right?
I think right now Crocp is undergoing some very severe feelings of envy, and he's mad that you're talking to someone that's not him, and so he just like pushes the priest aside and is like, "No," and like covers your face with his hand.
Oh, and
He's
I
mine.
like
He's my human.
between his like fingers, and I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. He just sometimes gets like that." Okay,
Yeah,
let's
and he sees that Rex has like kind of gone off into the temple, and he just kind of like stomps off after Rex.
okay,
And,
bye, man.
yeah, and we don't get to hear the conversation, but Slarp and Emotok have a brief like interchange. We see them like whispering to one another, kind of conspiratorial as we fade over to Rex. Where have you gone? Are you just going out into the temple proper, like into the grounds?
He's looking for water. So,
Good. You're gonna defile the sacred well again.
yeah.
So yeah, you've walked into an open area, and there's a big like pool of clear water with a sort of cement like lip around it, and there are all these like domiciles kind of around that, and then further up you can see the crown of pillars up on the sort of summit of the mountain.
Cool.
But yeah, there's this big water hole there.
All right. Rex looks around and he sees like a discarded wooden bowl, and he just scoops up a bunch of water and just pours it over his head.
Wait, right
Yeah.
as you're lifting it up, I just appear. I go, don't do anything with that. But I'm like, I look so fucking weird. Like just this huge pink weird thing that just appears next to you with Eugene's voice that just alarms you.
Rex kind of recoils and lowers the bowl. And Eugene? Is that you?
Just look, don't ask, but don't drink that shit. They'll make a big old deal about it. Also, hi, thanks for ditching me. Just throwing that out there. It's not like I've been alone with them for days.
Rex points out the fact that you look like a fucking glow stick, and he's like, "Well, it looks like you had some fun, at least."
Dude, get this. I like put my little mouth really close to his ear. Like, dude, I know how to freak these motherfuckers out. I know how to gross them out. So I am the line of defense here, buddy. I know all of the info.
The thin pink line.
As Eugene's saying this, you just see Rex like tip the bowl over his head.
All right. Well,
and then
I
just
tried.
Kind of like,
Goodbye.
He like frisbees it away.
Yeah, and it lands. We follow it right when you throw it, and it like scatters and like cracks on the stone and lies in some rubble because there's like garbage and like rubble all over the place. But it lands at the feet of Slarp and Emotok, and we pan up to see their faces. And Emotok is looking at the group of you, and he nods instead of getting upset. He's just like nodding knowingly, and he says. Old Slarp told me what happened in the capital. I believe your coming here is no accident.
I'm sorry. Are we not going to get upset with him for defiling the whatever? Because I'm really feeling like I got the 3rd degree and he's just totally fine. I'm not saying that I want my good buddy Rex to get in trouble. I'm just saying maybe there's some favoritism happening.
It's probably because you look ridiculous, Eugene.
As you do.
Yeah,
hold on a second. So Eugene, are you still all like pink and
yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
So Emotok is about to respond. Emotok's like, well, Eugene, you see, and he looks at you and he's like, I can't have this conversation with you right now, Eugene.
I look at Rex and, facial features being what they are on a slime. Maybe it doesn't look the way that it should, but I'm feeling pretty much like, Do you see what I'm talking about? They fucking hate me.
I lean down
Do
and
you
start
see?
patting Eugene's back, wherever that is. I just start patting Eugene, just patting him. I'm like, it's okay. I think you're
I
pretty.
feel like if you didn't know where Eugene's body parts were,
I
you
don't know,
probably
I just
shouldn't
start
start rubbing on him.
That's not his face.
Also, the closer that everybody gets to me, the more they realize that I smell slightly like poop.
It's
So
okay, Eugene.
at the end of you're kind of being reunited. You climb down from Crocp and go to talk to Eugene. Emotak looks at the group of you, and he looks at Slarp, and Slarp nods, and he says, "We have been waiting a long time for the coming of the Blixnortly Balacta. I believe that time is now. You all have a very important role to play. Please come with me to the temple." And he gestures, and we get the slow pan up to the big like shadows. There's some like pterodactyl creatures flying around the top of it. And we just pan up to it, and then it fades out. And let's take a break here, and we'll find out what everybody's special destiny is and how badly Quinn is being tortured.
No.
When we come back. Stick around. Lots more Nebula jazz after this.